Friday Fight Talk, Episode 2.
Everyone, good evening, Sean. Bit too
Don't
pleasant.
good evening me.
Good bit too pleasant.
What are you, a radio
What?
DJ?
What up?
Yeah, no, don't do that either. That's worse.
Sorry, I'm trying to work my intros.
You're well, you won the predictions last week, and I really gotta stop going with people I like as opposed to who I think will win.
Yeah.
So we'll do a quick recap of the UFC Calgary fights. We'll do a quick talk about some of the biggest news stories, just a couple, and we will talk about the upcoming UFC 227. Yeah, tomorrow night. Whoop whoop.
Looking good.
That looks good.
Yeah.
And so weigh-ins have already happened, haven't they? Yeah, the weigh-ins were happening. All right, so
They have happened, yeah.
yeah. So this is we're just going to go back over the Calgary card from last week. We only covered the triple main eventer. I mean, it wasn't billed as a triple main event. Should have been. Three
former world champions were in each fight, so
yeah. And we'll actually come to something that actually at the end of this Chael Sonnen mentioned. Chael's brilliant. Except when he's predicting, he seems to get a lot of those wrong. But he's brilliant to listen to all the time. He seems
he's
like
not
a
like
really
me.
He seems like a really, really good down to earth guy. So, outside of when he used to promote fights, he was brilliant to promote fights.
The original trash talker.
I wouldn't even say that. But he was very good. He was very, very good. Actually, now you've mentioned this trash talk. Have you ever heard what he said to Tito Ortiz?
Enlighten me.
So him and Tito were having a rematch, and Tito was like, everyone knows what I do. It's all hard work and determination. I show that. And he goes, Chael's been using his mouth to make money and to get fights.
Oh shit! I know exactly where this is going. Yeah,
and Chael just turns and goes, the only person who used their mouth to make money was your ex-wife. Oh God.
Yeah.
Chael. It was a good one.
Great comeback.
It was mad. He actually almost got up and bowed. It was so good.
Yeah,
all right, so
have to.
Let's switch to what do you think of Joanna's fight? Went the way we thought.
It was all right. She went in, did what she was supposed to do, won the fight, unanimous decision. Not really much to say. We both predicted Joanna last fight, and we both
pretty much predicted by points.
Yeah,
that's how she does it.
She threw a few impressive combinations, but just usual, just classic Joanna.
She's a fantastic kickboxer, and what it showed again. But I don't think this was as vintage Joanna. She was talking about moving up in weight, and that she's around the 30 mark now. I think as you get older, your bones get denser, your body kind of fills out naturally a bit more, so you are heavier. So maybe it is harder for her to make the weight now.
Yeah.
And I think you can see that with McGregor. He seems to have no intention of ever going back to 145.
No.
He says he can, but he's approaching. He turned 30, and he probably knows himself that he's going to have a difficult time getting down there. But we'll actually come to about cutting weight and Dustin Poirier in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
When we get to his fight. Joanna, I didn't think was looking as impressive. She still dominated the fight. It was an obvious win. But when she was champion, she was a surgeon. She was just
dominating, yeah.
Picked people apart. People still tried the same approach, which was to get in close, wrestler. But I think people have realized that they're not going to get knocked out. Mm-hmm. And so they're prepared to take the jabs, the 1-2s, the combinations, even the kicks. They're going to take the kicks, and they're going to come in and they're going to try and put her against the fence, and they're going to try to land big shots on her because they think they can take her out. And I think she's a bit hesitant because she knows what they're thinking.
Yeah.
And they know that what she's going to do. Everyone knows what she's going to do. Mm-hmm. She's going to be that surgical precision kickboxer. And you know what? So long as she can avoid people hitting those big hammer shots, although, if she does go up to 125, she's going to be against bigger girls. But she'll be heavier herself.
Yeah.
And so maybe with that little bit extra weight in the neck and in the jaw, there's a little bit less likely to be put out. So sometimes you can be stronger at a bigger weight, even though you're facing bigger people. So also she's probably going to be quicker than a lot of them up there too. She's very quick. Like I said, if she does go up to 125, I think that's probably something worth trying. But she is, she's a very, very efficient fighter. She's very good. We knew what she was going to do, and she did it. Tisha Torres tried to put pressure and put her against the cage a few times. Tried to take her down. She got straight back up. She didn't really hurt her at all because Joanna was able to avoid it. But it's, when she comes against one of those, saw what happened. She came against Rose. She couldn't avoid the shots. Mm-hmm. It was a different story, and I don't know. Like, everyone in the division that Rose could possibly fight, Joanna's beaten. So what happens now? Do you just leave Joanna sitting there until someone beats Rose? Because it is hard because they are the two best in the division. Yeah. But it's funny that there are some girls in that division who have beaten Rose, and I'd say if they could get a couple of fights on the bounce, they'll be looking for the next fight with Rose. But that's all I really have to say about that fight. We knew it was going to happen. We said it was going to happen. Now we get on to the fights where we disagreed a little bit. Yeah, had a little bit of a prediction. You went 2 for 2, man. It was.
I was right about the person who would win. I said he would only win by decision, but that's the only thing. And
he said about Aldo?
Yeah, I said decision. I thought it would be an Aldo decision or a Stevens.
Yeah, anyone listening last week I have no idea why I was calling Jeremy Stevenson. I don't know if I did that by accident and then it stuck in my brain, or if it's something. One time before I was calling Eric Christian
Eriksson.
I was calling Christian Eriksen Christensen.
Eric Christensen.
But that was because beforehand I'd been talking about Max Christensen. And Max Christensen's a guy plays in the German second division who happened to be playing FIFA. So I had Max Christensen in my head, and then I was like, everything instead of Christian Eriksen was Eric Christensen. And I was like, what? Why am I saying Christensen? But anyway, so maybe I had Stevenson in my head from some other reason. But yeah, I really like Jeremy Stevens. I thought he had a chance to win this fight and he blew it. Aldo showed serious toughness because, like I said, he's been knocked out 3 times.
In the past 4 fights, yeah, which is...
He might have been knocked out one time as well, way back, when in one of his early losses. But
that was 10 years ago. That's way back. That's way back.
That's a long time ago. And then he's been in some fights with some heavy-duty punchers like Chad Mendez and even Frankie Edgar can throw down, and he's come through them. I think he fought Cub Swanson. Cub Swanson's got some brick for hands. Yeah. And we'll get on. We'll talk about him. But yeah, so I thought that maybe because he'd been knocked out a few times that he might have been susceptible to that Stevens big bomb, and he got caught once, but he stayed up and he stayed in the fight and he came back. And did you think Jeremy gassed? Like he threw a lot of punches to try and get him out of there when he looked like he had him hurt, and then he just seemed to stop.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think. Sorry, it's just that time of night.
Yeah, well, he had him up. He had Aldo against the cage, and he was throwing those. That thing he does where he goes for the big. He gives the big overhand right, then the right uppercut, and it's kind of like he throws the overhand rights, and you feel the power, so you put your hands up to avoid it again. Yeah. But at this time, he goes for the uppercut because you're open for the uppercut when you put your hands up over your head. So he's caught loads of people like that. He caught RDA out like that. We threw one, and then the next one just lifted RDA out of his shoes. Yeah. That was the most insane knockout I think I've ever seen. But I thought that was coming when I saw him do that, and then. Whatever, I think Aldo just started throwing jabs, throwing these lefts, and suddenly, Jeremy starts backing up. It's almost like he's letting him, and then Aldo sort of recovers, and then Aldo throws a lovely dummied sort of overhand right, and as Jeremy lifts his hands, he goes that left hook to the body, and oh, what a shot! Because it isn't one of those ones that planted deep. It's like one he hit across his body, so it's almost like when someone kicks you in the balls, but they don't fully connect.
I don't know it personally, but...
Do you ever notice that? I'm sure you've been kicked in the balls. Every man's been kicked in the balls. Right? But sometimes it's when the person doesn't make the proper connection and they just kind of they just skim across it. That's worse than getting a full-on kick sometimes. And it's almost seemed like he got like he hit across him, so it's like he shifted like his guts or something, and it was like a delayed reaction. There was like a second or two, and Stevens went, "Oh fuck!" and he just laughed backwards. It was brilliant.
It's almost like his body just kind of shut down as soon as he did it. Those kind of punches are very underrated, but it was lovely. It was lovely even watching in slow motion, just because you can see that delay, and it's just like.
Oh, it was like he shifted something across like anyway, brilliant shot from Aldo. Aldo did really, really good. Stevens not happy about the stoppage because he wasn't knocked out or anything, and you can recover from a body shot. But when he went down and Aldo got on top of him, he rolled over onto his face. And when you're over on your face, you can't protect your head.
Yeah.
And Aldo held one of his arms and his other arm kind of tucked in under himself. And so his head was completely open and the ref's got to stop it. Like, you're not defending your head. And Aldo just beating on his head. The ref had to stop it.
If you can't defend, then like sorry.
We know you're not knocked out, but you can't lie like that. You might as well just lay on your back and just try to use your feet to keep him off.
Yeah.
Says us telling the professional fighter what he should have done.
Yeah, but exactly. But
you kind of get it in that moment. Your decision making's all off. Like you can't really like. I'm sure he's upset about it, but he's probably upset with himself because he knows he made the bad decision. Yeah. He was upset, So that's the way I saw the fight. I thought there was a few moments earlier in that fight where he had hit Aldo with some big shots, and I thought he was gonna finish him, but Aldo hung in there and then came back and what a punch.
Yeah, Aldo very emotional afterwards as well.
He was, and it's interesting that I think it's because he went so long undefeated, and then to have 3 losses in 4 probably hurt.
Yeah, especially 2 in a row. He's never felt like that before.
He's probably never felt like not the best in the world. Like, he could explain away the McGregor one, like a lot of people did. Oh, it's a fluke. Like, even though if you intentionally punch someone and then they get knocked out by that punch, it's hardly a fluke. Yeah. Like, McGregor didn't swing at the referee and accidentally knock out Aldo. He hit Aldo, knocked out Aldo. Like, so the fluke story is nonsense, but he could at least explain that away as that was a flash knockout. Yeah. Whereas the 2 Max Holloway losses, he was in the fight for a round and then Max took over both of them and put him away.
Yeah.
And that must hurt a lot of his ego. And it was funny, actually, McGregor seemed to be delighted for him when TMZ interviewed. He was so happy for him and he said it was good to see him happy. But what's funny is McGregor has this persona of someone who doesn't respect the other fighters. He absolutely loves other fighters.
When it's all said and done, he'll shake their hand and it's just like, thanks for that, brother. It was a great fight. Even after the Diaz, there was so much stick. Them throwing bottles and everything.
If you listen to a lot of what he talks about before some fights, like he's always talked about the Diaz brothers. Nick Diaz is one of his favourite fighters of all time.
I've seen a video about that recently.
He loves that. Like, and he has a lot of respect to other fighters. But when you sign the contract, actually there's another thing Chael Sonnen says. The fight begins when you sign the contract.
Yeah.
And it's mental warfare from then right
up. It's nothing personal, it's just business.
Robin Black, actually, I was talking to you about the analyst Robin Black. Shout out to Robin Black. Everyone should follow Robin Black on Twitter, and on Instagram, YouTube, everywhere he is, at Robin Black MMA. He's brilliant. Best analyst. But he is this thing that he talks about McGregor's flim flam, which is like a shell game. It's like a confidence game, like he's a con man. Mm-hmm. But he's a con man in the way he overloads your system outside of the cage, and he tells you all these things, and he's insulting you, and Eddie Alvarez kind of fell into it going, this is all talk. He's all hype. And McGregor was doing these crazy things and he was pretending he was going to throw a chair at him in the press conference, and they walked into the cage and there's a huge crowd in Madison Square Garden. Pressure's on. Eddie Alvarez looks across the cage at McGregor. McGregor's cool as you like. The crazy man is gone and there's a stone cold killer in there with him. And suddenly Eddie Alvarez realizes, oh my God, this guy's for real. But he had believed that he wasn't for real up to that point, and that's the trick. I mean, there's other tricks that he talks about, the way he tricks people into thinking he's going to be throwing lots of kicks. And so when you start defending the kicks, the left hand starts landing. He then starts doing things where he puts his hand down, he puts his chin up. So you think, I'm going to swing for his chin, and then you miss and his left hand comes back at you in the counter. That's one of those things that Robin Black picks up on.
Yeah.
He has you thinking he's insane, and then you walk in the cage and he's stone cold, and you're like, oh shit, this is not the same. So that's just Robin Black's take on it, and like I said, that was the Chael Sonnen thing. The fight starts when you sign the contract, not when the cage door closes.
Especially with all these press conferences and everything, trying to make a bit more money. Yeah.
Well, it is entertainment. It is a business. It is about making money.
It's about selling your product.
It's a professional sport. We are both massive football fans or soccer fans, if you're listening in America. Hey, look, soccer's an English word. It's not an American word. Yeah. People keep saying this.
I only found that out the last day as well.
I don't know that.
I found it on that HQ.
It's an abbreviation of association soccer. In fact, it's what we should be calling football, is soccer.
A lot of people in Ireland will say we should be calling it soccer because there's only one football here.
Well, that's true.
But anyway, let's talk about MMA. We can.
Hey, if anyone wants to hear some good old football chat, you can listen to Whether There's a Will, There's a Patent, also presented by PQ Pods. So
there's the plug.
Hey man, we
gotta sell our product.
We gotta sell all the products. You sell our product perfectly fine. So look, hey, come on, we're a team. We're all in this together, okay? We're going to talk still about Aldo Stevens a bit more. Have you anything you want to add? I went on and went off on a tangent in a caravan down south.
No, I think we basically covered. We were talking about all the goings on of the fight. We talked about afterwards how he was emotional. I think we basically covered everything. So
yeah, I was actually quite happy for him, even though I got it wrong. He was so happy to win that fight, and it was a great way to win it. You don't see many body shot KOs, and
no, that's what I'm saying.
And I know technically, like when he got him down, and it was like the hammer fist that was the TKO, but that body shot is the difference. And
such a difference it made. It
was beautiful. It's beautiful. You know, when I was kickboxing, I always quite enjoyed that when we'd be doing hitting pads, the guy who'd be holding the pads would have a body shield on. I used to quite enjoy if one of my, because I love that left hook to the body, it's one of my favourite punches. When I would hit the left hook to the body and you would see him wince through the body shield, I'd be like, I'm doing that one right. Yeah. It's like I'm doing that one right.
A small smile appears on your face.
Like there's very little I'm good at when it comes to kickboxing because I'm kind of heavy, but when I can land the body shot, I'm like, yes. it is. I think it's possibly because I was such a Mike Tyson fan, and Mike Tyson could break your ribs.
Small victories when you can take them.
Yeah. All right. So, do you want to get to the slightly controversial but also very good fight?
Yeah, a lot of
Poirier Alvarez.
Yeah, Poirier Alvarez, main event of the evening. It was good fight. Only lasted 2 rounds, but.
Yeah. The reason I went for Alvarez, and this is because of Alvarez seemingly, he rarely, when he gets stunned, he can come back a lot, and he can, and Poirier's been knocked out a few times, and so I thought that even if Poirier stuns, because I thought his boxing is probably a bit better, and it showed his boxing was wonderful. Poirier's boxing looks really, really good.
Yeah.
So his boxing's better than Alvarez, but if he goes in for the kill and Alvarez can catch him in close with one of Alvarez's he throws those swinging hooks, those big punches. When he throws those, if he hits Poirier hard enough, I thought Poirier would go out, and that's why I predicted a knockout, but obviously Poirier was able to get the job done this time. Should we talk about the ref standing them back up? What do you think of that?
Well, how it happened was they were lying up against the fence, and then he throws down. Well, they obviously can't see this, but they just threw it down.
12-6 elbow.
12-6. I was trying to think of the numbers there. As I said in the last week's pod, numbers aren't my.
There's a clock right there. Remember that?
Yeah.
12-6.
12-6. Yeah. That anyway.
Easy enough.
The elbow was thrown down like that. It was deemed illegal by the ref, and he decided to stand them up, and that is where it changed. Because Poirier just went in.
did he have to stand them up though? Could he have? Well, he said he stood them up for two reasons.
Yeah, he came out on Twitter and said afterwards, which fair play to Mark Goddard, was because not a lot of referees in any sport will come out and explain the decision, especially if people aren't happy with it on one side. But he came out and he said it. You probably can remember it more than I can.
Well, I actually only heard about this, but apparently he said that Eddie had held on to the cage too, which is one of the reasons he was able to keep Dustin in this, because Dustin's wrestling's pretty good. You know, he's a good wrestler. I think he out wrestled Joe Duffy. Joe Duffy's a black belt in jiu-jitsu.
Exactly. Yeah, that was very impressive, that Joe Duffy fight.
He has always been a good boxer. You look at the size of him compared to Eddie Alvarez, and Eddie Alvarez has basically only fought at 155. I think he fought at welterweight a few times, but he's basically mostly fought at 155. Yeah. You saw Poirier beside him. Poirier was huge. Yeah. What was Poirier ever doing at 145?
We were talking about this last week as well. Between Max Holloway, McGregor, and
Ortega,
Poirier. Well, all of them are huge men, and you wonder how they ever made it to 145.
You know, Dustin Poirier reckons the real reason he was so easy to knock out at 145 was because he had so light. He had sucked himself down. He was diminished. You know, you could still see his crisp boxing, but like he was a far better fighter when he went to 155. Yeah. He's ranked 4th in the lightweight division now.
Lightweight division's looking very good up
the
top.
He had a flash knockout against Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson caught him with that left hand, but he's got a thumping left hand. Yeah. And he
other than that was the blip.
That was a blip. Yeah, but like I said, like if Johnson catches you need to have a one hard head to survive that straight left. Yeah. Like he even stunned Khabib Johnson when he fought Johnson. Yeah. Like, he got a thunderous left hand on him, and it was like shit. And then he thought he went in too close, and Khabib took him down. And I was like, well, that's that fight over.
Yeah.
So,
but still, he rocked Khabib once, so
he did rock him. And is Khabib susceptible to left hands? Let's not dwell on that just yet.
We'll talk about that later.
We'll get to that later. So we talk about the Alvarez, and we're back to talking about Alvarez and that. Yeah, the ref said he stood him because he held the cage. Now, some people are saying that you've got to give him a warning. Yeah. And leave him in the position, but I remember Goddard gave him a warning about holding the cage in the first round.
Yeah, he did.
He definitely did.
Now that you say it.
And I think what he's saying is he was holding the cage while he had him in mount, which is obviously illegal, and then that's why he stood him up. If that's the case, so that's two reasons to stand him up, and it's the second warning for holding the cage. The referee's every right to stand him up. Even if you don't like the fact the ref stand him up, the ref then didn't go and knock Eddie Alvarez out for Poirier. No. Poirier knocked him out, and it was very good.
Yeah.
One thing that would say is Eddie Alvarez's contract is now up, and he really should have took McGregor's advice to sign a new contract before they fought.
This was back in 2016 as well. He should have done.
But you know what? Never mind. But hopefully Eddie gets to stay, and hopefully he does get more money because he's an entertaining fighter, and there is something to ex-opponents of McGregor being more interesting because you know more about them, you know their story, you've seen some of the embedded videos, you've looked into their history or whatever. I think Poirier's brilliant, and I love watching him fight. And shall we get into news before we get into the UFC 227?
Yeah, let's.
Seeing as we're talking Poirier, this is an easy segment.
We'll forget about it afterwards. So
Dustin Poirier is going to be fighting Nate Diaz.
Fucking dream fight.
That's going to be brilliant. Yeah.
I didn't. To be honest, I only seen the tweet this morning, and I thought, wait, Diaz is coming out to fight, and it's not against McGregor. I thought he was just putting out for that, but I'm glad to see him back just because he is such a draw.
Well, if he's going to be a main event or a co-main event in that pay-per-view, he might be getting a few extra coins.
He probably should. He's one of the.
You know, we talked about if there's going to be a Khabib Conor fight, would they stack? Put the two of them on one card, go for maximum pay-per-view buys, or would they split the buys and try to get $1 million for both, at least $1 million for both?
I would probably split the both if I was looking at it from a business point of view.
Because McGregor, when Diaz fought themselves, they had a stacked card and they got 1.6 million buys, and that's the biggest UFC pay-per-view ever. Yeah. Maybe now they're thinking they could get $1 million on each and make more money, whereas if they put the both on the one card, they might get $1.5 million, or closer to 2, but they might get overall the number might be bigger if they keep them apart. But yeah, I can't wait to see Diaz Poirier.
Same card or different cards, I don't care. I just want to see the.
I would watch that fight. You know, we always have difficulty watching the fight because they're on so early in the morning around here. But I will go to bed early for that one.
Yeah. Just make sure.
That's good, and it's going to be good because even though Poirier can wrestle, Poirier's going to go in there to box.
Yeah.
He's going to go in there and he's got, he's a southpaw too, isn't he? He's got a left hand. I think they're both left-handed, and it's going to be interesting to see. I tell you, Poirier's boxing's good, but is anyone's boxing better than Nate Diaz's?
I don't know.
Oh, that's going to be such a good fight.
A few Stockton slaps thrown in there just for good measure as well.
Even just the build-up to it's going to be brilliant.
It's going to be brilliant.
It's going to be great.
Now, love Nate Diaz.
We tried, when we started this podcast, we kind of had this conscious effort that we wouldn't make it like every other Irish MMA podcast, which is McGregor, but we can't help it today, because if you look at that card from last week, there were some great fights, but you look at the guys who looked the best. Alvarez looked pretty good till he got, he was looking good. Poirier looked excellent. Aldo looked brilliant. McGregor's beaten all of them.
Yeah.
He has knocked all of them out. And that's, it's not been close decisions. He has walked through
them.
He has walked through the three of them. And this is actually, I've mentioned Chael Sonnen a few times this stage.
Yeah.
This is his thing. He says, he's never been McGregor's biggest fan, but then he looks at a card like that and he goes, God, all those guys are really good. You can see the skills. McGregor's beating all of them. And then he goes, God, he's good. He's like, he can't help it. And then you kind of go, okay, McGregor Khabib looks like it's going to happen. That's going to be a good fight. A lot of people think it's just going to be a takedown and then a pounding for 5 rounds unless he can submit McGregor. But, McGregor spent pretty much this whole time learning how to get back up from takedowns.
Yeah.
He avoided takedowns against the bigger Diaz. He avoided takedowns totally from Alvarez. Alvarez never didn't get him down once. And so, obviously, Khabib is a level above all that.
Yeah, John Kavanagh will have him well sussed before that fight anyway.
I think, as well, you saw Iaquinta kept getting back up.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know what? If they can figure out how to get away from those takedowns and get back up, I think he has every chance in the world to beat him because he's striking so much better. But, you know what? We're talking about a fight that isn't booked. And the reason it isn't booked is because someone's holding it up. Everyone keeps saying, McGregor's running from Khabib. But as far as I'm told, McGregor's signed for this fight.
Yeah.
He's ready to go. His money is in the bank.
Yeah.
He's
teasing about it on Instagram and all his social media pages.
He's teasing about it. That picture, he's put up a few pictures, and every time he's put up the picture, he's had a UFC glove on.
Yeah.
It's just let this is a UFC glove. And what's obviously come out, because Khabib said it, that if he's going to fight McGregor because he thinks McGregor doesn't deserve a shot. Well, look, Khabib, I get that McGregor held the title for far too long without defending and all that there, but no one ever beat him. He beat the undisputed champion to become the undisputed champion. You beat Iaquinta, who's a savage, but you beat him on 1 day's notice, and Iaquinta wasn't the champion.
Yeah,
the champion was stripped, and you were handed the title in a fight on 1 day's notice for one guy,
which changed so many times. Look,
it was a complete mess, and Khabib is now the champion. Sort of what you might say the de facto champion. But, he's not undisputed. As much as they'll probably announce him as that, he's not undisputed.
Yeah, we were meant to see Tony Ferguson and Khabib. I don't think we'll ever see that fight. I don't know.
It's cursed.
It is cursed. It's three times they've tried now.
But you know what? I hope Tony get well soon. I love you. Love watching you fight. You're brilliant. I also love your jiu-jitsu coach, Eddie Bravo. You're a little bit crazy. Love you, Eddie, though. Fucking super genius when it comes to jiu-jitsu, though. Also super genius when it comes to conspiracy theories. He's very good, Eddie. But the thing that I think that people should be looking at here is if Khabib's holding this up to get more money, what happened to the Khabib that was all, I Russian savage, I don't want money, all this bullshit, number one bullshit, I only this fighting, what's that McGregor fight? Give me money. It's come on. I get it, you want your red hat night, because, I don't know if he wears panties, and he's got that big hat.
The big Dagestani hat.
That's not funny. He wants his red pint, as he should, but it's the fact that he said he didn't, and that he was only interested in fighting, and he hated McGregor's all the pageantry and the show and all of this. And as soon as he gets a chance to fight McGregor, well, now he's holding it up because he wants more money.
Yeah. Well, he's making the most out fighting a once in a lifetime superstar like McGregor.
He's within his rights to do it, but it's the whole I'm a fucking Russian savage. Like,
it's the fact that he said before that he was doing it for the love of the sport, but now
that's definitely
changing his tone.
Well, like when you're doing it for the love of the sport, he's not getting the opportunities.
You're not going to do it for free, obviously. But
he's not getting the opportunities to make a lot of money. And as soon as he gets the opportunity to make money, his management's like, hold on a second, don't just sign that right away. Yeah. Dollar bill, y'all. Dollar bill. Let's get those greenbacks, because if McGregor knocks him out, his marketability. Does he have marketability? Like, it's going to be. Do you know what's funny is according to John Kavanagh, they did and it was actually funny. Ken Early of the Second Captain said that he noticed quite a lot of McGregor posters and quite a lot of people asking him about McGregor in Russia when they found that he's Irish. Like, Ken Early doesn't care about MMA, but everyone was asking about McGregor, and he thought there was a surprising number of McGregor fans. John Kavanagh said they did like a scan of McGregor's Instagram to see where they all came from, and it was like 60% Russians. Russians love fighting. McGregor's a superstar fighter. You know, like, I think they even said that they have more followers in Russia than Khabib. So, like, that's what you call popularity.
Yeah.
Man, if they could make that fight in Russia, in like
Rocky IV style,
in one of the World Cup stadiums, just fill it out. It'd be cool. You know, it'd be great if they could do it in Croke Park, but it's impossible to do in Croke Park.
Fuck you, Croke Park.
It's not the Croke Park. It's Croke Park.
It's the residents.
But like, even that, it's unreasonable, because the UFC would expect them to put it on at like 4:00 in the morning.
Yeah, they would. They've done it with Henderson and Bisping in Manchester. They've done that.
They've done stupid o'clock in the morning. Fuck.
Yeah. I don't like that they do it, but I can understand why they do it.
Of course they do. Their pay-per-view audiences in America, there's no pay-per-view audience for them over here.
Yeah.
Because for ages, actually, it's actually gone now, but BT Sports used to show the pay-per-views for free, and that's gone.
Oh, that's going.
It's going, yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully not for the end of the year.
Apparently, the new ones that are meant to be taken over are meant to be implementing this whole new pay-per-view. They'll give you a UFC subscription, so you can see UFC Fight Night, UFC at Fox, or sorry, UFC on ESPN, as it's going to be known as now. But they're going to charge for the big events.
Right. So we've got to wrap this up. I think we're working on this long enough. We've got 3 fights again.
Yeah.
Triple main event, somewhat. Pull it up there.
I know the first fight anyway is.
I heard you weren't happy to be called a gremlin, by the way, on one of the pods.
Yeah, we can discuss this afterwards.
We don't have to. It was his name. I wanted to call. I can't remember.
It was Will to call me the gremlin. I'm pretty sure. So
no, it was like I said we had the. And he said that we had the gremlins working on it, and then he mentioned you by name.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. That wasn't the word I wanted to call it. It was. Do you know what is the word? I want to use a word like, I can't remember what it was now. The word is not in my head right now. I work too much, so I'm forgetting words, and I'm forgetting footballers' names and movies' names, and that's not good enough. So I need to quit and do this podcast full time.
Yeah.
Well, do this and all the other podcasts, all the other stuff. I just need to.
So subscribe, guys. Because we can
look,
quit
dude,
our jobs.
I was doing that subtly. You just don't need to come out and
I'm
say
sorry.
it. Well, does that too? Just because it says it. No. You subtly go, oh, I could really like to do this more often. Hint, hint, wink, wink.
I'll know for next time. Sorry, guys.
Oh yeah, I better edit this out.
You're not going to edit it out. This is going to be a running gag from now on, that you're going to edit this out. It's not happening.
Well, like, if I edited every single podcast, I'd have to listen to every podcast right after.
We might have 5 minutes of.
I don't care
of stuff. That's what I know.
I remember when I had to. I had the incident with the chair. Remember the incident with the chair?
The incident with the chair, I think, lasted about 5 minutes. Yeah.
The incident with the chair was brilliant, but it was all like, "Yeah, you're gonna edit that out." Nah.
Yeah.
What's the point?
I thought the fact that it was in your power, you would have edited it out, but nah.
It's just I'd have to listen to the whole thing, and I have a family and I have commitments, and also I couldn't be arsed.
But hey, it's done.
First fight we're going to talk about
Cub Swanson versus Renato Moicano.
Cub like bear? Cub?
Yes, Cub like bear. So
anyone who doesn't get that reference, that's from Tommy Toehold. There's a guy who does these cartoons, on the MMA fighters. You've seen Tommy Tolles?
I'm familiar with them. I wouldn't have to watch them religiously now.
No, but he did an old one where he had Cub Swanson and Khabib both on the press conference after both winning fights, and someone was like, Cub Swanson, great fight, and he's like, oh, thank you very much, and then like Khabib interrupts and goes, Cub? You're a cub? And he's like, yeah, it's like a cub, like bear? He's like, no, my name's Cub. Haha, very funny, bear. You come with me, I'll teach you wrestling like in Russia.
Anyway, let's get into the fight.
I love that, but it was brilliant. Cub, like bear.
So, Renato Moicano has come into this fight. He was on a bit of a streak and then lost to Brian Ortega, who's the number one contender. So, you can give
Brian T-City Ortega.
T-City, bitch.
Savage.
I didn't need that in the bitch there, but I did.
That is savage.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I met Brendan Schaub, and Schaub is supposed to be 6'4", and I'm 6 foot. And I stood next to Schaub, and whenever he gave me like this kind of like hug as they're taking a photo, and I know I have a huge head, but you know, not metaphorically, I'm quite humble, I think. As hard as it is to be humble when you're as good as me now, it's I do have an oversized head, you know. But I was only like I didn't think I was a full 4 inches shorter than Brendan Schaub. However, I saw Brian Ortega, and there wasn't much difference between the height I looked compared to Brendan Schaub and the height he looked to Brendan Schaub. And I went, Ortega's a big guy.
Mm.
He's a big guy. Like I don't know how he gets down to 145. I suppose he can do it while he's still in his early 20s or mid 20s. But I'm talking about T-City, who's savage, wizard. Amazing guy. We should be talking about Moicano.
Yeah, but look, that is what this division is.
You know, Moicano's he's a good fighter. He's fighting Cub Swanson, who's a wonderful fighter, a guy who was an all-round skill set, like Cub, and it's.
Yeah, I think you didn't coin the term, but you said it last week, was Dustin Poirier is like the gatekeeper for the lightweight and the featherweight. Yes. Cub Swanson is a bit of a gatekeeper.
It's very much that, yeah. Like,
so if Moicano, who has only lost one fight, if he wants to do well in the featherweight, he's ranked number 10th at the minute.
If he wants to take on a top 5 guy and push for a title fight,
this is how you do it.
You got to beat guys like Cub Swanson.
Mm-hmm.
We saw with Doo Ho Choi, the Korean Superboy.
What a fight.
But like the Korean Superboy is amazing, but at the same time, Cub Swanson's amazing, and you got to go through Cub Swanson unless you're Conor McGregor and you knock out Chad Mendes, like it's
yeah,
and you can just knock out everyone. It was a different story. It's actually funny, like when you think back, people said when McGregor got the title shot, he hadn't beaten anyone good, but when you think back now, having beaten Max Holloway, having beaten Mendes,
they all got good afterwards.
Having beaten Aldo and having beaten Poirier, and you're kind of going, holy crap! He had a really hard run. Like he did a surprisingly hard run. But anyway,
Holloway's been on such a streak since as well.
So Moicano, he's 5'11", which makes him a little bit taller than Cub, I think. So he should have a reach advantage because they're both kind of like skinny guys. Anyway, yeah, Cub's only 5'7", and he's fought. He's actually fought with lightweight Cub, but I suppose most guys fought at the fight lightweight before the featherweight division came in. They would have fought at that anyway. Cub's a fantastic fighter. He's got 8 knockouts, 7 submissions, 10 decision wins out of all his wins. Whereas if you look at Moicano, it's almost all submissions. Not a lot of knockouts on there, but. Obviously, like they're very skilled guys. You don't get this far without being skilled.
Not in this business.
Moicano's 29.
Yeah. So we're going to do predictions anyway.
Prediction for this fight. Looking at submissions and decisions. This is going to be an interesting fight. This could go a 3-rounder decision.
Yeah, it could go easily. And with that, I'm going to say.
You go first.
I'm going to say Moicano on a.
Moicano won a split decision over Jeremy Stephens. That's
his biggest thing today.
That stands out.
That's going to swing the pendulum for me, and I'm going to say Moicano by unanimous decision.
Okay. See, look, I couldn't decide, and you went first, and you picked Moicano. So just for the sake of it, I'm going to go Cub Swanson.
Okay.
Cub.
Yeah.
like bear. I can't not say that. It was so funny at the time. I just got to say it every time. All right, Demetrius Johnson's Henry Cejudo. Demetrius Johnson's going to win this.
Oh, absolutely. Next fight there, please. Honestly, the thing is,
Mighty Mouse is amazing.
Mighty Mouse is amazing. This is Cejudo's second chance at it.
Yeah, Cejudo's gotten better since he fought him. He's obviously a wonderful wrestler.
Olympic gold freestyle wrestler.
But he's had 2 losses. Obviously, one was the DJ. Right afterwards, he lost to Joseph Benavidez, which is really nothing. Joseph Benavidez is pretty good.
Yeah.
But is Demetrius Johnson going to be... I doubt it, but is he going to be complacent because he beat him so significantly the first time? He beat him so well the first time. Is he going to be a little bit complacent, and is he going to go, I can beat this guy easy? I don't think so. His coach is pretty... his coach is very, very good. But yeah, I'm calling it now. DJ either by decision
or submission
or knockout.
Could be submission.
I don't think.
But then again, actually, it's against Henry Cejudo.
I was going to say I don't think he's going to submit gold medals.
Yeah, I was the one that said I only. Yeah. So my prediction probably.
See, it's 5 rounds.
Yeah, we haven't really got into this fight as much. We've just said
like Mighty Mouse is Mighty Mouse. He's got all the skills. He's got the grappling. He's got the submissions. He's got the punching. He's got the speed. He's got the trickery. He's awesome.
He lives the life. He just plays. He's a UFC fighter and he's a great gamer. He's loving life.
He's a decent gamer.
Yeah.
No, he's good. He's good.
But the thing is about
anyone wants to follow him, Mighty Mouse UFC on Twitch. And it's a pretty good actually channel.
Yeah.
I've
one of my favourite things about Mighty Mouse is when he's there. I can't remember what game he was playing, but he was just there. Hold on, there's the door, and it's the guys from USADA wanting to USADA. Yeah, sorry, I could have just said that in one word.
Yeah,
and they. He basically was recording while they were coming in. It's like, you got to do a test, and then he was just like, right, here you are, and he just goes back to playing again.
Yeah, I did the drums test playing. That's amazing. McGregor did that one time too. I think he was like going to bed, and he's like, and he tweeted out something like that feeling you get when you're about to sleep, and 6 guys in white coats knock on the door. Oh, creepy. That's not the best. That's not the best USADA story. USADA, yeah. Have you ever heard the Tim Kennedy USADA story? So, Tim Kennedy's former Army Rangers. Kennedy, yeah. So supposedly ISIS put out a list of people that was interested in attacking, and Tim Kennedy's on the list. Tim Kennedy put his address where he trained on the internet and said, like, come at me, like, because Tim Kennedy has killed people. Whatever people thinks of him, he was a very good fighter. He was top 10 in the middleweights for a long time. That guy has killed people. He has genuinely killed people. He is Captain America. Like, he is
modern day version.
But so he comes home one night from training and he notices this car he doesn't recognize sitting in his driveway, and so he thinks, "Oh, this shit is going down." Tim Kennedy, like I said, Army Ranger, was in the Rangers while also fighting for Strike Force. He's actually re-enlisted since he retired from MMA. He's re-enlisted in Special Forces. That's as well as doing those TV shows he does for the History Channel. But he goes to the car and he beats on the window. But of course, Tim Kennedy's armed.
Yeah.
And so the guy opens the window and he's got a gun coming in the window with Tim Kennedy on it. Like, what the fuck are you doing here? I was like, who the fuck are you? And that was USADA there to test him. And he was like, sorry. Come in. Send us a text 5 minutes in advance so I don't try and kill the guy who comes to the door.
Lesson learned, USADA.
So anyway, do you want to talk any more about DJ Henry Cejudo?
One really thing I was going to say about this, when this fight's done, what's next for DJ? If he wins this will be his 12th defense of the title.
There's nothing left for him. He's
Sergio Pettis. That's the only other fight in the. I don't think he's fought him. I don't think he has, but he's still pretty young.
They could just take numbers and line up outside the cage and see what
the move.
And they eventually instead of like having a see who's on the best fight streak to get a shot at the champion, are they going to have them like draw a raffle ticket to see who gets to the championship? Because they've all been beaten by DJ.
Sure, they did that with UFC. With the Ultimate Fighter. One of the seasons, they thought, let's make it interesting. The winner of this will get a title shot at DJ. That was Tim Elliott that won it, and DJ beat him.
Tim Elliott was good at the start, but then DJ eventually beat him. Yeah, as tends to happen.
Yeah,
he's a savage. Interesting that his coach is an expert in what he teaches DJ. Is not a specific martial art, but he teaches him. Well, it is technically is Pankrathon. Mm-hmm. Pankrathon is like one of the oldest Olympic games. It's like thousands of years old. It's a combination of wrestling, boxing. Mm-hmm. So it's one of the very first Olympic games, and it's essentially what Pancrase kind of took the name from that. But Pankrathon is like the idea of being able to box and wrestle at the same time. Sambo is quite similar, but Pankrathon is what his coach is an expert in, and that's what he teaches DJ, and that's why DJ is so well rounded.
Yeah,
because it's not even just about being a good boxer, being a good jiu-jitsu. He's got this idea of merging them all together into one near perfect style.
I'll say DJ by decision anyway.
Yeah, it's probably going to be DJ by decision.
Yeah.
Alright, so the main
event.
Oh, it's the Viper. The Viper. Versus, I can't remember what Cody Garbrandt's name is. Cody No Love. How did I forget it was Cody?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's No Love and the Viper.
Round 2. After their...
Did you know he called himself the Viper as a joke, and he started putting snakes on his t-shirts?
Oh yeah, I watched the whole season between him and Garbrandt. He's trying to make money out of the whole McGregor. There's that little snake in the grass.
Do you know what's hilarious? When you watched that Ultimate Fighter season, did you notice they were both talking about how they were good with McGregor? Mm. They both were like, oh yeah, McGregor, we're fine. We talked about it afterwards. They both said basically the same thing. And I was like going, guys, how have you not figured out he did that to mess with you?
Mm.
How have you not seen that he did that to mess with you? And how are both of you okay with him?
Yeah.
I was like, guys, seriously, he was messing with you. Then they're all like, oh yeah, McGregor looks he's like, what's the word? Oh God, my brain is not working. It's late on a Friday night.
It's late on a Friday.
I need some Monster or something. Plug Monster.
Yeah. I wasn't going to say anything this time. You told me not to.
Now you can constantly say brand names like Monster.
Yeah.
Specifically Monster, no other brand name. Especially no other energy brand name. Monster. Look, Monster's great. It's something I really should have dragged before I started this podcast. Because
I'm feeling a bit sleepy, but we're on the main event and we're finishing up.
We're on the home straight. Right, so let's go.
Will we just go predictions, or will we give a bit of backstory to this?
No. This is a great fight.
Yeah.
I like TJ fighting. I don't know about all the shit Cody talked about him. I like Cody's fighting. He shows that his uncle's made him box when he was a kid, and he can show he's got brilliant boxing skills.
He made Dominic Cruz look like a chump as well.
TJ... Dominic wasn't the healthiest. I think
he wasn't, but still Dominic Cruz.
It was a brilliant performance, but TJ is trained by Dwayne Bang Ludwig, and Dwayne Bang Ludwig is a hero. Well, I think he's a hero based on the combinations that we've done in training of my kickboxing coach, who is Tommy the Ghost McCafferty. Follow him on Twitter. Tommy the Ghost is 2-time world champion kickboxer. Mm-hmm. Well, sorry, 2-time 2-weight. What the difference is, he had 2 world titles.
Champ.
He had 2 world titles. He had a light middleweight and a middleweight kickboxing world title. He's a fantastic kickboxer. But he loves Dwayne Ludwig, and Dwayne's an amazing coach.
That's where this whole rivalry stemmed from as well.
He's an amazing, he was an amazing kickboxer. He was a good kickboxer, but he's an amazing coach. And you see that knockout of Cody, that's a Dwayne Ludwig combination. Mm-hmm. And even the head kick he landed with him early on. Remember, he landed a head kick early in the second round, and then eventually he knocked him out, TJ. Mm-hmm. Like Cody had him down the first round, but he survived. But he couldn't have been that badly knocked out. Is if what did they have 60 seconds?
So 60 seconds in between and around.
And then he was he won the second round, TJ. So that knockdown that he had in the first round either woke him up or it wasn't that bad altogether. But he, that was those combinations. Like if you ever seen Dwayne Ludwig, there's videos of if you like Joe Rogan, look at Joe Rogan's videos with trains Dwayne Ludwig. He says he gets the cardio up by doing these combinations. Tommy does some similar stuff. Tommy's also, he's trained with Paul Daly over in over in Liverpool. Paul Daley's in Liverpool, fairly sure he's in Liverpool. But he's trained with him for a few fights, and he loves Paul Daley's striking coach, and he takes a lot from him. And obviously, like I said, he's a fan of Dwayne Ludwig. But the way they kind of build your cardio and try to get you, like for me to try and lose a bit of weight, there's combinations, lots and lots of combinations. And it's 7, 8, 9. I think Dwayne Ludwig has like something like 15 shots in some of these combinations. So you're going right, so it's like 1, 2, hook, uppercut,
almost like a GTA cheat code.
Yeah, it is. You're like a spinning kick, spinning back fist, head kick, roundhouse kick. You're doing all of these things, and by the time you land that last punch, you are exhausted. Like those can really go, and that system of that, and you can see that whenever TJ lands something else is coming in behind it, or else he's moving to hit something else, and because he hits you and is moving to do something else. So it's actually Dwayne Ludwig, one of his mentors was Bas Rutten. If you ever listen to Bas Rutten, he talks about attack and then attack again, or else move to attack, so that you're not in the same place as when you attack, because that's when you get countered. And you can see when TJ landed that kick, and then eventually he moved in with some more punches, it's hard to respond to that because it's all over the place. It's everywhere. And because he trains that day in, day out, those combinations with Dwayne over and over again, he has become an amazing striker. Because remember, I don't know if you remember TJ. TJ was a wrestler.
Yeah, he's transitioned.
He looks like a kickboxer. He looks like he came from kickboxing. He's so good. And man, that knockout when he eventually caught him, like they were in, going for a few different shots, and he dodged a left from Cody, and then he just what a shot. That was an amazing first fight. I can't wait for this fight.
I think it was Dan Hardy. He put up a good video just going into the whole dynamics of that knockout. It's an interesting watch.
Yeah, Robin Black has a good one too. So if you can get,
I'll watch Robin Black because you've showed me some of his stuff earlier.
Be careful if you actually no, don't be careful. Go on and follow Robin Black on Twitter. He responds to everyone, so you will get a lot of messages. But just skip through them or read them. Yeah. He's just so nice to everyone, and he's an amazing analyst, and he's so technical. Amazing. Like a guy who had his first MMA fight at 38.
Well done.
That's like
that is impressive.
Because he didn't, he said he wanted to be an MMA commentator, but didn't think he should until he fought. So he had been doing kickboxing, he'd been doing jiu-jitsu, and he was just like, I'll switch from being a glam rock in Robin Black and I think it's the Intergalactic Rock Stars. Was the name of his band.
Groovy name.
He transitioned from them into MMA. Fought a few times, and then kind of moved into commentating. That's impressive, and he goes really deep on these fights. His Sab Alvarez scale is the best thing I think I've ever seen. Like, no MMA analyst has that anywhere. And his 1 minute breakdowns on Twitter are fantastic as well. Yeah. So they definitely follow him. They like you said, so you're talking about Dan Hardy's breakdown of the first fight. Definitely check out Robin Black's breakdown. Do you want to go to predictions? Because I'm rambling about this. And I think we just want to see the fight at this stage.
I've my prediction anyway. I'm going to predict boldly. I'm going to predict Cody Garbrandt for a few reasons. One was when they were doing the interviews on UFC Calgary. The thing is about Cody, he's portrayed to be a hothead, but even in the interview, I know the fighting's done in the octagon, but he seemed a lot more.
Is it really?
Well,
it is
psychologically, but he's portrayed as a hothead, and even in the interview, TJ was throwing a bit of shade towards his direction, but he just responded it as well as he could, and he just didn't show any anger. So maybe there's an element of that he's more calculated, or maybe that he was just humbled by TJ.
The reason I wouldn't read too much into interviews is because if you remember his interviews in the lead up to the Dominic Cruz fight, he was chasing Dominic Cruz down through his fucking...
Yeah, he wanted to get into his room.
He was trying to get into his room, and he was trying to get off of us. And then when he actually stepped in the cage, he was a different beast. But that's because he's comfortable in the cage.
Yeah.
He's been fighting since he was a kid, boxing and different things.
Great footwork in the Cruz fight. And
he's
Cruz
just super fast and very strong, little stocky guy.
Yeah.
Good boxer, can understand how to close the distance on a guy like Dominic Cruz. And look, he clipped TJ. We know he can beat TJ because he had him down.
That was going to be my other reason. He clipped him and TJ did get saved by the bell. God knows, if there was another 10, 20 seconds, maybe it would have been a Garbrandt.
I mean, if there was, but there's not. There's not though.
This is MMA.
There's rules. This people go, oh, but it's meant to be a fight. No, this is a sport.
If I know, I'll try and stay away from this for the next pod.
No, it's fine. Look, that was, I've seen that a few times, like where a guy dominates a fight and then he loses the last round. They go, oh, if that fight went a little bit longer, he would have lost. Well, the fight doesn't go any longer.
Yeah,
the fight either goes 3 rounds or either goes five rounds. And the reason that there are rules like the rounds, and the reason that there are points is because it's a sport. It's not a street fight. Like, for example, if you knock a guy down every single round up to the last round, but you get your ass handed to you in the last round,
doesn't matter, fuck.
You won all 4 rounds, and if it was a street fight instead of a real fight, you could just kick him in the face when you had him on the ground and wouldn't ever let him back up. So I can't stand this whole, oh, if that fight went a little bit longer. No. Yeah. The fight has rules because it's a sport.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You gotta win the fight within the time allotted.
Yeah.
It's a sport. It's like any other.
I'm still going Cody anyway. I know you
it's like
that argument.
It's like if the Man United Man City game where Man United won 3-2, if that went on longer, Man City would have got an equaliser.
Good point.
Oh yeah. If that went on longer, it doesn't go on longer. It goes 90 minutes plus added on time. That's it. Oh wait. If when Liverpool lost 2-1, they were totally dominant for about 65 minutes, but could only score once. They probably would have scored if the game was 3 hours long. The game isn't 3 hours long though.
It's not.
And it's the same as this. It's a sport.
Yeah. It's just the fact that he got TJ in that position, and that's one of the
absolutely saved by the bell. The only thing I would say about that is 60 seconds later TJ comes back out and he is on fire.
Yeah.
So he definitely clipped him though, and a ref would have been within his rights to stop it. If he catches him earlier and he gets him to the ground, he can absolutely finish. We know Cody can beat him because Cody has knocked everybody out. How did Dominic Cruz survive that fight? Like, because it went to a decision.
Yeah, it went to a decision, and when you look back, you're like, oh, this was a clear knockout if you didn't know the result.
You were like watching that going, how has he not knocked him out? He put him down, I want to say about 5 times. Clear victory. However, this fight is important to talk about who I think is going to win. I love Duane Ludwig. I just do. Mm-hmm. I think he's really sound. When I watched that Ultimate Fighter, they seemed to be giving him a lot of stick, and he was just like, yeah, whatever. Like,
hey, they need in the Ultimate Fighter. They always need some kind of.
Justin Buchholz, the striking coach from, Team Alpha Male. Yeah. He was like, "Oh, I'll fight you on the undercard, and have a fight." And he kind of looked at him and he was like, "No, I'm retired, man. I don't."
Yeah, maybe they were just trying to get some more views for the Ultimate Fighter. I don't know.
But you could almost see in his face, like he laughed at him and then looked at Justin Buchholz. Buchholz kind of looked serious, and he was just like, Jesus, I kind of pity you. Like, he had his career as a kickboxer, he had his career in MMA. He's the fastest knockout in UFC history. Is it 6 seconds? 4 seconds? 6 seconds, I think, might even be. You ever seen it? Duane Ludwig's fastest knockout ever?
I've heard of it, but I'll look it after this.
Sucks the guy in. Few jabs, and the guy steps in, he steps to one side and comes across him with a right and out cold. And I mean, 6 seconds max. But
nice.
Duane Ludwig's a great guy. I love, part of the reason I love him is because I love Bas Rutten. The boss. Bas Rutten. Do you know Bas Rutten?
Yeah.
Bas is brilliant. Especially when he plays movies. Like when he's in Here Comes the Boom. Do you ever see Here Comes the Boom?
No, that's a Kevin James film.
Yeah,
I don't
like
really watch Kevin James stuff.
You should watch it because Bas Rutten's in it. In fact, Bas Rutten's and Kevin James are buddies. So he's actually in Kevin James' TV show now, Kevin Can Wait.
Don't know what's
well, like I don't watch it either, but I just know Bas Rutten's in it. If I was friends with Bas Rutten and I had the power to put him in a TV show, I would put him in a TV show too, because he's hilarious.
Yeah, pretty cool guy.
He's a savage. But also, actually, if you want to see savagery, if you watch his old fights in Pancrase when they used to fight with no hand wraps and they weren't allowed to close fist, and he used to use like open palm strikes, he could knock guys out with open palm strikes. But a lot of the time he would use like a lot of kicks, because like he was a kickboxer, it's easier to knock people out with kicks. But Bas Rutten was amazing. But back to this fight again.
Yeah.
I like them. I said before I would stop picking based on my head. My head would say, yes, Cody will be determined to knock him out early. And just like the first fight, dominate that first round. Or, well, didn't dominate the first round. It was kind of back and forth. But he caught him with the big shot. And we know we can put him away. But, you know what? I like TJ's way of fighting. I like watching him fight. He seems pretty sound when talking to him. I don't know about all the personal shit that went on in Team Alpha Male with him. I don't want to talk about it because I don't know. But TJ, Dwayne Ludwig, they could come up with something really good, and I'm going to go for TJ just because I want to be the opposite of what you picked anyway.
That's alright, but
because I don't want us both to be wrong.
Yeah, you don't want us all saying, "Oh yeah, I love that choice. Let's go."
What's the point of us being here? We agree. So let's just go back here to the this kind of way this worked out. Moiciano, Cub. You went with Moiciano.
Yeah.
I'm going with Cub.
Yeah.
Like Bear.
Yeah.
Just Cub Swanson. Change your name to Like Bear.
Just. That's how it's going to be announced next time.
Then you've got
DJ. We're both going for DJ. We can't not.
It's a bit like the Joanna one. We just look at it and go, it's probably going to be DJ. And we both kind of said it's probably going to be decision. We then look at the last fight. You're going Cody No Love. I'm going with the Viper. Cobra Kai. Ha!
Killishaw, as it is.
Killishaw. Killishaw is, I think, his old name. I think he started calling himself the Viper recently. But you know what? I love the fight. Oh man, we're over an hour now. I think we should probably wrap it up there.
It's dark.
It's dark outside. It is. Alright, dude. That's all. We're out.
See you guys.